Okay, now let's solve this problem. So the question states, a binary tree consists of nodes, right? Each node has three integer values. A what? Left pointer, data, and right pointer. Three integer values. Each node. That means one node has the left pointer, the data, and right pointer. Each node. Do you understand that? The binary tree is stored using a what? A global 2D array. So that means we have a 2D array which stores the binary tree. So for it to be a 2D array, that means it must have how many columns? 3 columns. One for the left pointer, one for the data, and one for the what? Right pointer, isn't it? Where each row must be a what? Must be a node. So I'll just draw a small 2D array for illustration to understand what is actually happening before I continue with the question. Now, it now says that the pseudocode declaration for the array is, so the array is declared in pseudocode, but you are writing in Python. So they are just telling you the dimension of this array. That the array name is array node, declared with what? With 20 columns. Sorry, 20 rows. And what? And 3 columns. That means instead of 2, we have it up to what? 20 rows. Because the 20th row will be at index 19, isn't it? And what? And 3 columns. For example, array node 0, 0. This portion is array node 0, 0, isn't it? Stores the left pointer of the first node. That means that index 0 is the first node. This is what the question is trying to tell you. The question is trying to tell you where the first node can be found. Is that understood? So that means the first node can be found at where? At row 0. Then array node 0, 1 stores data of the first node. So this stores the data. Array node 0, 2 stores what? The right pointer. Understood, everyone? So that's what the question is saying. So -1 indicates null pointer or null data. So that means null means empty. That's what null means, empty. So that means whenever the pointer or data is empty, it is represented as what? As -1. So that means for this empty 2D array, when it is empty, when there is no data, everything can be what? Can be -1, initialized as -1, which indicates there is no what? There is no data. Understood? That's what that means. So the question now says, write program code to declare the global 2D array what? Array nodes, and initialize all 3 values to what? To -1 for each node. So just write your declaration, and don't forget your declaration involves what? Involves the size of the array and what? And the data type, isn't it? So that's what you have to declare. So going back to your Visual Studio Code, so you can see that the array has been declared as a global variable, isn't it? You can see global array nodes, and the array was created, and it was, you have to use, what is it called? You have to use a comment for declaration, isn't it? So you can see a 2D array of 20 rows and 3 columns to store integers. That is a declaration. So because you have to initialize each value to what? To -1, then I wrote for num in what? In range 20, array nodes.append. This is for the first column, for the second column, for the third column. Is that understood? So this has been declared and initialized. I hope this is well understood. Okay, good. So question 3A has been answered. So that is just 3 marks. So the next question answers, the binary tree stores the following value. So these are the values stored in the binary tree, isn't it? These are the values stored in the binary tree. So the binary tree stores the following value. These are the values stored in the binary tree, which is 125, this. That means at the right hand side of 20, there is a what? There is a 5. At the left hand, sorry, not a 5. At the right hand side of 20, there is what? There is 58, isn't it? Isn't it? Because it points to index 5 at the right hand side. That means when we have 20, the right hand side is what? Is 58, isn't it? And at the left hand side of 20, there is what? A 15. Then at the right hand side of 15, there is no value. But at the left-hand side, there's a what? There's a 3. That is what it means. At the right-hand side of 3, at the left-hand side of 3, there's no value. But at the right-hand side, there's a what? There is a 9. Isn't it? Then, at the right-hand side of 9, there is a what? There is a 10. But at the left-hand side, there's no value, isn't it? And at the left and right-hand side of 58, there's no value. So this is just the binary tree that I've just drawn. So you should try to understand the table. Understood, everyone? Good. It now says, free node stores the index of the first free element in the array. Free node stores the index of the first free element in the array. So this is the first free element, right? Initialized to what? Initialized to 6. That means free node is initialized to 6. It's always storing the first free element in the array. Root pointer stores the index of the first node in the tree. So root pointer stores the first index. That means this must be what? The root pointer, right? The root pointer, because it stores the index of the first what? Of the first node in the tree. Initialized to what? 0. So I have to amend your program. That is, amend your program, what you've written earlier. Go back to your main program. By writing the program code, you are asked to write the program code to store the given data in what? In array nodes. So store this in array node and initialize the free node and root pointers. Okay, when you are writing your exam, just follow what you think you understand at this point. When you go earlier, you might understand something else. If you understand something else, you come back to this. So at this point right now, what I understand is free node stores the index of the free elements in the array. That means the array exists, right? The element exists. So since I'm asked to amend the program to store, that means I should go back to the array I have created to store this data in the array, isn't it? So that's what I understand for now. So let me go back and write that, go back to my Visual Studio Code. So, and write array nodes. So I can have array nodes. Yeah, is equal to, okay, at first, you remember that this array already has values, right? Yeah, it already has values. So I can write that array nodes of, which means editing the whole row, is equal to 125. That will be 125. Then I can copy this. Since I have how many values? 7. So I can copy it and paste. Then I did the values later. And this will be 5. So just copy and paste and edit your values. Now, the next, that is what we're able to do now. Now, the next question now states, we're done with that. Are we done? No. It says that amend the program by writing the code to store given data in what? In array nodes, which has been done, right? And initialize free node and what? Root node pointers, right? So we should initialize the free node and root node pointer. So the value for free node, we are not told that they are global variables, right? So we just initialize. We are not told they are global variable, just initialize. So the value for free node was set to be what? To be 0, isn't it? No, is it 0? 6 is equal to 6. And root pointer is 0. Root pointer is equal to 0. So now the next question, which is question C.